Hey everyone, this is Rob.
And Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast on everything you need to know about old school RuneScape. Alright, so this week up on the docket we have, of course as always, our updates, what's been going on with us, our accounts, and anything that we've been up to. And then we'll move right into the very little teeny itty bitty update this week. It is very small, but there's some pretty cool changes in it, so we'll go over that. But don't be worried, we do have a lot of other stuff to go over, thankfully, including the actual concept reward and like a much deeper look at the Giants Foundry, the new minigame. And we do have a really in-depth look at and analysis of the PvP arena blog and what happened there and why everything failed. And then finally, we're going to be ending on a actually really potentially awesome note, which is the Gilnor Gazzette for April, which I think has a ton of really promising stuff in it.
Okay.
Coming from the back of the game jam that Jagex just had.
The Gam
Jam. So I think there's a lot of really cool stuff to get into. But before we do, Michelle, how's it going?
Well, first of all, not well, because you forgot to include that we also have a Q&A at the end. There's a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah, we do have a Q&A. But we always have a Q&A.
Yeah, but it makes me feel special to say it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Anyway, I have to look myself up because this is totally sidetracked. I use LastPass for all my passwords, and I got logged out of it on this computer, and I don't remember my master password. So I just looked myself up on the RuneScape high scores.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I guess I'm not going to be playing my account at all.
You could just use RuneLite.
RuneLite doesn't have my password.
RuneLite has your high score.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant to log in. That's fine.
I was like, what?
No, RuneLite is so slow. I'm using my old laptop, and now that I have a PC, I'm like, oh my god, how did I ever use this thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the
really
pre-exploded one, so it's even slower than the exploded one, which was pretty fast actually, until it exploded. But I've been doing well.
Nice. What have you been up to?
Last night I was working on my medium combat achievements, and I randomly am almost done with them. I only have one more thing left.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
It's an Obor one, so I was trying to get Giants keys, and I killed 200 hill giants, and it was 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, I'm done. I'm calling it. I'm just not getting it tonight.
Yeah, maybe you should try the wilderness.
But I got a dark totem piece, so...
Oh, you were doing it there?
And they're only level 28. I thought they were high level.
No.
I thought they were high level, so I brought a bunch of food, and I had no inventory space. And I think that in 200, I think they hit me for 4 total hit points.
Yeah, I don't think there's high level hill giants really anywhere.
Yeah, I was surprised, because usually Korean, everything's higher.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're literally the same level, so that was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want totem pieces as well, so might as well just do it there.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
And yeah, that was cool. I did a bunch of barrows because I had for the medium diaries or medium combat achievements. Yeah.
Okay. That's just weird because you never do barrows. So
I never do barrows, and that's why I had to do barrows, because one of them was open the chest 25 times.
Oh, you haven't even done it 25 times?
No,
That's
I
so
have
funny.
now. But it was funny. There was a couple that I was really struggling with. One of them was take no damage from any of the brothers, and oh my god, it was so frustrating.
Yeah, that one's kind of hard.
It was so annoying because I'd go and I'd I'd be all confident to be on my last one and be so overconfident that I forget to turn my prayer. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, that's really funny. The only one that you should really actually have a problem with is the very last brother, or the way I do it, the very last brother, but the one that hits through prayer.
Robert, it was the ranged one I forgot to turn on prayer. So he immediately just shot me with an arrow. And I was
okay. Yeah, that'll definitely do it.
The other one that I was really, really struggling with, and this one was much, much harder, was to not let any of the melee ones perform or start any melee attacks against you.
Oh yeah,
holy moly, that's frustrating.
It's kind of tough, but there's ways to safe spot them, I think.
I never figured out how to safe spot them.
Yeah.
I would freeze them. I'd get them stuck on one side of the coffin, freeze them, and quickly run away, and sometimes they'd hit me while I was trying to run away.
Yeah.
And then I would just shoot them with magic and hope that they didn't unfreeze. And if they did unfreeze, once I got 3 of 4 of the melee ones. And then the 4th one unfroze and came and hit me because I couldn't click away fast enough.
Nice.
Absolutely devastating.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one way to do it.
But yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, but it was great. I ended up getting it on the 25th kill. So it was the last 2 things I had to do for the Barrows brothers, and I was
Oh,
able to
that's
get them in one
cool.
go, so I didn't have to go back again.
Nice. That's good.
And I also got one of the pieces. I think I got like a Torax head or whatever.
Torag's helm?
Help, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the one that looks like it has little tusks?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I got it. I kind of forgot that they actually drop real rewards. I thought it was just runes. So I was like, oh yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah, they actually drop real life gear.
Yeah, it was nice.
That at one point was expensive.
Some of them are still expensive.
Yeah, funny enough, I say that, but also I like randomly had like 3 sets of like random Barrows gear and like sold all of them. And I think I told you yesterday I like managed to like get 40 mil worth of gear.
Oh, was
I
that
just,
from
like,
part
had.
of it?
Yeah, that was like a bunch of it.
How did you get that? From actually doing Barrows?
No, like I had a Darok set for whenever I was killing the mole. I had the Guthan set whenever I was tanking one of the God Wars dungeons, and then I had some Carol stuff whenever I was doing. I forgot what I was doing recently. I was doing a boss, but I needed like Carol's gear.
Yeah, they're not the best money makers, but some of those pieces are still worth like over $1 million. So
No, yeah, for sure.
yeah, especially I forgot Carol's is one of them. Carol's is probably the most expensive one.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that they used to be like way more expensive.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be nice. I posted this on our Instagram and Twitter too. The people have responded, but I forgot to reply.
Oh yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, so it's not my idea. I'll say that. I took it from Reddit, but it like credits the person's name on the image. They put their own self. But they gave an idea to have like a corrupt your item drop basically from the Barrow Brothers. So then you can have your Barrow's gear look like theirs, like all clear and red.
Yeah, like ghostly and like red or pink or whatever color.
Dude,
it is.
I think that'd be so cool.
Yeah,
that would make Barrow's gear more expensive too, because everyone would want it.
No, it's untradeable.
Barrow's gear is untradeable?
No, in the post it said that it would be untradeable.
I mean, that would make Barrow's gear more expensive because people would want to get it and then go and get the corrupted thing.
No, it would make it less expensive because it means more people would run it and get the gear, and then if it's not purple, not want it.
Well, okay, one person, I believe it was Weston from Twitter, or sorry, Weston from YouTube. Hopefully, I'm correct. Made a good point saying that it might be better just to have it drop as like one drop that you can use like recolor stuff. So I think I was thinking of it like that.
Okay.
So I kind of got confused because I thought that was a good point.
Yeah, if it's like a dye or something like that.
Yeah, like a dye that you could just use.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. And then they also said like then it would just be one more thing for collection logs. So if you don't have to go and get like 20 more things from them again.
Yeah, I mean that would be one more thing for collection log, but also that would suck because they have like a billion things on the drop table.
Yeah. I thought that idea was really, really cool though.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good idea.
That's like especially one of my favorite I've seen in a while.
Because there is no pet there. So it is unfortunate.
So they need to have something cool.
Yeah.
Like the gear's nice, but they should have something untradeable.
Honestly, they still need to find a way to add an item sync for Barrow's gear.
Really?
Yeah. Well, why not? Because I mean, there's a funny enough, there's an item sync for Bandos gear, which is one piece is as much as all of the Barrow's gear combined. Oh, so this would be
an item sync if they went and added this.
I mean, if they could make it into an item sync, that'd be cool. Like if
they upgrade and you can't change it back.
It still wouldn't. Yeah, if they made it so like whenever you did turn it pink or whatever, red or whatever, it like disappeared it forever from the economy essentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, that'd be cool, but I mean, it wouldn't be enough to like fix the items and make them worth like more value again. But it'd still be cool.
I really want them to add that. I was just thinking about going to who do I wear Carol's for? I think I use it for the Bandos God War dungeon. God, that would look so cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think it's a cool fashion scape too.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I was doing a lot of Barrows, and that was frustrating, but then it ended up being fun. Oh, I also did want to give a shout out to Trimmed Bronze from Reddit because that's the one who came up with this idea.
Yeah.
God, look at the picture. I'm sorry, it distracted me. It looks so cool, so cool, and yeah. Did Barrows. I did some more Zelcano this week. I'm like nearly at 800 kill count, which is pretty exciting.
Nice.
I've made some mills. Haven't gotten the tool seed still, which is funny. It's like 1 out of 200.
No, it's 1 out of 200 if you're doing it in a group of 4.
It's really annoying I hate how mathy it is with the drops of Zelcano.
I was like, but yeah, doing it in the groups you're doing it in, it's definitely not 1 out of 200. It's like I don't know, 1 out of 1,000 or something like that.
But I was doing it with smaller groups a lot too. I think a majority of them I was doing with people from stream, so it was like it's a lot easier
when you were doing it in 2s and 3s. That definitely helps with the drop rate, but it's definitely not 1 out of 200.
I mean, clearly not. Otherwise, I'd have like 3 of them by now.
Oh, you could just be really dry.
I know, right? But yeah, that's been a lot of fun doing that. I want to go to Barbarian Assault soon to help carry High Sassy. So if anyone wants to go and help carry someone,
Barbarian Assault.
I love Barbarian Assault. I
That's
think
pretty
it's
fun.
fun. If you'd want to go, Robert, if anyone else wants to go, let me know. High Sassy wants to get carried, and I'm like, I'm gonna make you love this minigame by the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, I might, just because I do need to get the Elite Diary eventually, but I also kind of don't want to, because like I'm mainly just like
Making money.
making money and AFKing at the moment.
I mean, what if you got the pet?
The pet? I mean, I know the pet is one of the rarest pets in the game. Actually, probably the rarest pet in the game, but I also don't like the way it looks.
I know, but what about just walking around your house like a little weirdo? Don't you want that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Of course you want a big old pet.
I've been less inspired by pets recently.
I've been less inspired by pets too, but that's just because I've turned into a greedy monster who wants gold.
Oh, okay.
I'm a greedy little goblin. I still want pets. Don't take this the wrong way. I still want pets. It's just like, it's not my main thinking right now.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of demotivating for me to think like of specific goals like that are so hard to get whenever I'm doing stuff. And then it's just like, oh man, I'm gonna be here forever.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess if you are aiming for a pet, unless you enjoy long grinds, then it can be demotivating knowing that you're going to be there for the next like 7 months or something.
17 years.
Yeah, depending on what pet you're getting.
But yeah, so did the medium, did some Volcano. We did some Corp this weekend.
Hey, we did Mass Corp.
Yeah, we did Mass Corp with a bunch of us from stream. It was really fun.
It was for your birthday, right?
It was my birthday. But we didn't get any crazy drops. I got the Spirit Shield. I didn't realize Spirit Shields are worth less than 100,000. And I was like,
No.
and I was like, oh.
Two Spirit Shield drops.
Yeah. It's the other part that's worth a bunch.
It's the sigils that are worth something.
The sigils, yes. And I was so excited that I was like, oh. I mean, it's still cool. It felt kind of cool to get a drop.
It is a rarer drop.
It's like 1 out of 60.
Definitely not a rare drop.
It's actually pretty unlikely that I got it. I'm only at like 8 kills there or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like 15.
It's still not that rare, but
yeah, whatever. I'll take it.
I think of like the not rare items, like the Onyx Bolt Tips are the best ones.
Yeah, we got a couple Onyx Bolt Tips.
Yeah.
But speaking of dating was getting all the kills at Corp, by the way.
Yeah.
Dating was like, oh, are we going to do free for all? By the way, I'm getting all the kills, and I'm like, we're splitting.
I feel like the only way. I was gonna say, actually, there's like no other way that dating could have been doing like more damage. I was gonna say bringing a scythe, but that's less damage.
Dating was wearing like a Torva and stuff, and then de-geared because I was complaining because I was like, you're getting all the kills.
Yeah,
it wasn't fair.
We actually
and then they still kept getting all the kills.
We have some like really like highly geared like viewers.
It's so random every time. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like there's
Why are
a couple
you
people
this?
with scythes and like Elysians and stuff.
It always throws me off. I never expect. I mean, I always feel surprised when I see anyone wearing them, especially people that I'm like friends with. I'm like, what? Why do you own this?
Yeah.
Where did you get this?
No, yeah, for sure. Like Evercore, because we had like a contest where you like, it was like a dress up contest, like a cosplay contest.
Yeah, we'll get more into that in a second.
Like and so someone dressed up exactly like Neve, like with the Elysian and everything. And it's just funny.
That was Wraith, right?
Nah, that was Evercore.
That's Wraith.
Oh, that's Wraith?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure who that was.
Yeah. That's Saint Wraith. Yeah. So going to that. So the birthday stream started out with Mass Corp. Dating, trying to scam us all, take all the drops. Just kidding, dating. Sorry. I don't know if you listen to the podcast. It was a prank. Anyway. And then from there, we were going to do the drop party, which was like 100 mil. We were all hyped up. I'm saying we were going to. We did do it. But there's issues. So we decided to do it in the Foundry party room. Silly little Michelle, and I guess silly little Robert, you didn't realize either?
I recommended a different place.
You did. Silly little Michelle didn't realize that anyone could pull the lever. So the thing is, we knew that Faldor announces when stuff's in the party room, but I thought they announced it when you pulled the lever. They announced it as soon as you put the first thing into the box. Yeah. They're like, something's happening.
Yeah.
So, while people were gearing up and not able to get there, somebody random pulled the lever. So everyone had to like hurry up and go. And it was supposed to be like a costume contest and stuff. And yeah, everyone went. I felt bad. High Sassy like was really excited for the drop party, like donated a bunch of stuff. They got there with like 4 items left. They barely made any gold. It was a bummer. I mean, a lot of people made money. So I think a lot of people enjoyed it, but it didn't go to plan.
No, it definitely was not ideal.
Yeah, so we're talking about next time that we do something like that, we're just going to go...
We're going to go to a different place.
Yeah, a secret location that we will reveal the day of.
Yeah, definitely not the party room. It sucks because I feel like
the balloons are so cool.
I feel like they could easily, very, very easily make the party room or like a pseudo party room for clans or for just other people to rent out, and it would be like infinitely better.
They said they're gonna make it for clan halls eventually. I just don't think it's a priority.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they say a lot of things.
Yeah, but I think that's something that we voted on.
I don't think so.
Oh, did they just talk about it?
I think that's just something that they wanted to like add eventually.
Add it soon, because I was also thinking about not on the same scale, but if I can make money doing like a 1 year affiliated giveaway, because that's coming up in a couple months.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of more giveaway things.
I think in the party or in the clan hall, that'd be really cool.
That'd be so cool.
Like they could...
We thought that was the thing whenever we first started. We were going to do a drop party, and then we were testing it out, and we're like, oh, you can't see anything.
Yeah, because I mean, right now there's zero functionality that causes people to want to go to clan halls.
Mm-hmm. Which sucks because it's actually such a nice space.
Yeah.
And the little cat, Hannibal.
Yeah, it's just like a lame spot. Like it's cool, it looks cool.
You need to add more group activities.
Yeah, I feel like they could add like a little expansion to it, which is like a larger room, and have like the drop party area.
That'd be
like
so
there.
cute.
And it'd be like really easy to do
with the balloons and stuff, because the balloons are what make it really fun. Because then you can't pick and choose what you want.
Yeah, because then at that point it's essentially just an instanced version. I mean, sure, anyone could go there if they just like guessed into your clan, which is the point.
Yeah, and which is fine though.
Yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't, if people know who we are, they'd probably at least be like nice. Because in the party room, people were being mean after. They're like, oh, I guess this person had no gold. And I'm like, bro, we gave away 100 mil. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
People are being so mean. And I think like Ivor was like, chill, it's a birthday party.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously we'll just like do it better next time and like do it in a different place that's like more private, but also it's like, why? That's like such a common occurrence. There's been drop parties in the game since the game's been like released, and
I mean they created an entire room for it. So
yeah.
you think they'd come up with a way to make it more like
and
private.
They still have like the most like, I don't know, just awful system.
Yeah, it's
like,
not great.
Like it's just actually the worst. Like there's no way to make it.
I wouldn't even mind
better, like over all the years.
I wouldn't have minded Crashers if it let the person who was putting all the stuff in be the one to pull the lever.
Yeah.
That's what was annoying, is I was like, I don't care if people crash. Like, sure, whatever. They could get gold. I don't care. It's my birthday. Take all you want. But what was annoying was that they pulled it and they started it. And whenever I ran to the room, the balloons were already falling.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's happening? But yeah, formal apology to High Sassy because they told us that the Foundry party room wasn't a good idea. But to be, okay, in my defense, it was a lot less stressful to set up to do Foundry party room.
Yeah. I mean, overall it was.
That's why we need something in the clan hall.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be nice. But, so we did that. All throughout the night, I did Bond giveaways. It was fun. We did a little costume party. We went to Rigged's house, then we went to Annan's house, so shout out them too. The costume party was really fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Robert and I were sitting on the thrones, and I like muted my mic, and we were like whispering, choosing a top 3, and then we let the chat choose the winner, which I believe... Was it Firehawk or Gluten Girl that won?
Gluten Girl was the best dressed and Firehawk was the worst dressed.
Really?
And they both got awarded.
Yeah, so the best dressed got a Bond, and then we chose our 3 least favorite and let everyone vote.
Yeah.
And gave away another Bond.
We chose our top 3 of each and then let chat choose.
Yeah, so sorry if your outfit was good. Just normal good, because then you're just stuck in the middle.
We didn't have any like good criterias for what we were picking. Like we just like were randomly.
They're like, I like that one. I like that one too. All right.
And I was like, some of them I think were good. Like
I really like Divines.
Yeah, Divines. I think
really
was
good.
like probably one of the best ones that I just like didn't really think about at the time.
I think it was Divine was gonna be really, really close into the top 3. And I think that they could have taken it all.
Yeah, I think they definitely could have. And then, but there's like other ones like the only reason I didn't like the Prayer Potion outfit is because I've seen it before.
Zancudo's outfit, oh my god, I loved it. I've never seen it, and I didn't realize it was a Prayer Potion. I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool, but I had seen it before, so I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, Zancudo's outfit was like the green ghostly robes on this, like the skirt. And then the clear ghostly top.
The see-through top.
Yeah, and then the beekeeper hat, so they looked like a prayer potion.
Yeah, like a half drink prayer
potion.
I've
never seen that before, and we both forgot to vote for our favorite and least favorite when we started the poll, by the way. I was going to vote for Zancudo.
But
actually, worst dressed was Nate.
Oh yeah. Oh no, because Firehawk gave it to them because Firehawk also won on like a random roll as well. Yeah. So they were gonna get 2 of them.
We had some people getting all the bonds.
Yeah. Some people got lucky.
Mostly Firehawk, and I think Gluten Girl got a couple of bonds too.
But yeah, it was pretty fun. We also had like a BGS drop still. So
yeah, that was cool. We did kind of how I got my Elijah and how I made all my money is Robert had the BGS and was like, all right, I'm gonna drop it here. Everyone just click here. And then everyone just like piled up and was clicking it. And then I was like, all right, did you drop it? And Robert just stands beside like, who knows? We'll never know. And it would have been so funny if you didn't drop it. It just stands there.
I know, right? Yeah, it was pretty fun.
But the place he dropped it at was in the POH of Annan's house where you could like pull the lever and everyone falls into the basement. And I tried to pull the lever right after it was picked up, but it wasn't working at the time. And I was like, how funny would that have been immediately after?
And also, if Alfresco is listening, you would have been one of the better ones if you had the Vorkath pet.
No, that's not true. I wasn't counting pets.
I was counting pets.
Robert was counting pets for the best outfits, and I wasn't because I know that some people, Alfresco, don't have any pets and are trying really hard.
Well, either way, it was a good time, though.
It was so much fun. And after that, what did I do? We were all just like hanging out on the POH. I was like nervous because I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what the next plan is. It felt like weirdly stressful, like a real birthday party for me at points.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Everyone was just like fighting each other in the little combat ring. And it was great because everyone's in their little costumes and barely hitting each other. I was just hitting people with a birthday cake. And then like people would come in with like dragon claws and spec you. And I was like, oh my God. It started to get intense.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, and I didn't realize Gluten Girls got the bandos.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that Gluten Girl got the bandos, and it was so funny because I was like, who got the God Sword? And then she was like, turn around and just standing behind me holding it, and I felt so threatened.
But yeah, overall it was a pretty fun night.
Yep, and I ended it with some Mario Kart that Robert wasn't there for. So shout out to Annan, Cool Nate, Divine. I think Firehawk also played for a bit. I am not great at Mario Kart, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
And then you got Mario Party that you did not play.
Oh my gosh, yes. So Tragic Sins got me Mario Party because people were telling me to play Mario Party, and then no one ever played it.
I feel like several people told you to get
Mario Party. Several people did tell me to get Mario Party, and then I was like, who wants to play Mario Party? No one speaks up, and I was like, okay, never mind. So if anyone has Mario Party, please hit me up because now I want to play it with people.
Yeah,
I played it alone, and it's not as fun.
Definitely not nearly as fun.
But
yeah. It's also pretty cool. You got a what's it called? You got the new streaming thing that like makes the Switch look actually good now.
So Robert got me the best birthday presents ever. He got me a new capture card, which is he got this right before the stream. So before we went out for dinner for my birthday, I was just like setting this up. He got me a new capture card, and I feel like it looks a lot nicer now.
Yeah. It
was kind of being weird on Mario Kart, but I think that's because I had some of my settings like for videos and not for streaming. I forgot to switch them. And he has sent me a stream deck, which I'm still figuring out. I've got 2 buttons working.
I really only did this for Ninja because we kept with the old capture card having screen tearing issues, and Ninja was the one to point it out.
Ninja was upset. Shout out Ninja. I think you've been busy for a while, you said. Hope you're doing well. But I also wanted to say, whenever I was doing Mario Kart, somebody showed up, Leon. Shout out Leon, because a couple days later, they got me a raid of 200 people.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was insane. I mean, none of them played old school RuneScape. Not that many people stayed, but a couple of people did stay. So I was like, oh my gosh.
I think it was a shout out for the Yu-Gi-Oh community.
Yeah, it was. And I was like, I don't play this, so no one's going to stay, but it's still exciting.
Yeah, I like... that's like such a weird tangent. I used to like collect those cards and think they were the coolest thing, and I had no idea how to play when I was younger.
I didn't know you even played them. I thought you just collect them.
No, yeah, it's like a game you actually play. You have like health and stuff, and the monsters like deal damage and stuff like that. Oh, that's
cool.
Yeah, and I just like thought that the cards were the coolest, and so that was, I don't know why, but I collected so many of them.
Can I call you out? Didn't you steal Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Oh yeah, I stole Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I got caught.
Robert got banned from Target as a child.
I did.
Little do they know you go there all the time.
Yeah, I was arrested. as a 14-year-old for stealing
They
Yu-Gi-Oh
have your picture in
cards.
the back. They're like an age progression of what this child may look like now.
Yeah, to be fair, I've only ever been to that Target, I think, like once ever since then in my life.
Well, I wouldn't want to go back to the scene of the crime either.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, just want to give a shout out to everyone who played with me on my birthday and for all the raids and all the helping me get raids, because there's like a lot more people who did that. So shout out to everyone. It would actually take a while to list because we got a lot of help. Dating like suggested some people raided me too. It was really cool.
Yeah.
As for my actual birthday, I'll go through this really quick, hopefully, because we still have RuneScape stuff. We went to a cat cafe.
Oh, we did go to a cat cafe.
It's the coolest thing in the world. A
Yeah,
cat cafe is...
I'd recommend it.
Would recommend. If you live in a big city, I feel like it's likely that you have one. We have 2 in our county.
And if you like cats, then it's pretty cool.
It's so cool. So the one that we went to, it's like half a cafe and then half of a room where you can pay $15 to hang out with cats for an hour. And Robert and I fell in love with multiple cats.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, obviously they don't pick cats that aren't friendly, but the cats were really friendly.
There's a couple that were more scared and we're just kind of like staying behind staring at everyone.
I think they were new and very young.
Mm-hmm.
But they did have
all the
like
older men were the sweetest.
Yeah, I feel like this is how animals are in general. Like the older ones are just like down for pets because they know you're
not going to hurt them.
That's what life is about, is pets.
Yeah. But there was some cuties. There was this little orange man that we'd like put our hand and he would ram his head into it because he wanted like hard
pets.
Head scratches.
Yeah, he wanted pets so bad he would just ram his head into our hands. It was the
cutest. We didn't get his name, unfortunately. There was another like lighter orange one that Robert walked over and barely pet it, and it just like put its paws on his shoulders and stuff like they were dancing. That was so cute. It started licking my hand. Oh my god, we're going back to all these pets. Shout out. Number 1, I think that this is a sign from God that I need to get it because this cat's name was Remington, like the place in RuneScape. The sweetest old man. He's 10 years old. He didn't open up his eyes the entire time we were there. He was just laying there, a little chunk lord, just laying his pet his face.
Yeah, let us know if you like cats or dogs more.
I don't even know. I love them both.
That actually kind of pertains to like what we're going to be talking about in RuneScape today.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Wanted to share that, and hopefully we could adopt all 3 of those cats because I'm in love. Remington also only had half of his teeth, which for some reason made his mouth look really cute.
Yep.
Anyway, really, really, really good birthday. It was a lot of fun. And my main account, I think the only other things that I've done.
Yeah, and did you do any other RuneScape things today or this week?
I'm thinking my farming, I got to 37 mil. I'm now ranked 6,000.
Nice. 200 mil.
I got 98 mage. I think I might have gotten that last week, though. I'm really close to getting 98 strength, too. So I wonder which one I'll get 99 first. Strength or mage. We'll see.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. She never found out.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it for my account, hopefully. Jeez. What about you? How have you been?
Pretty good. Not nearly as much stuff to go over as Michelle.
I mean, it was my birthday.
Yeah, that's a fact. But yeah, as far as RuneScape goes, I actually had been playing a lot more than I have in the past, and it's mainly just been oh no, this already happened. I was going to talk about my alt account, but I'm pretty sure
finally got it. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that happened last week. But either way, so my alt account has just been chilling at Vires, and unfortunately, I have not gotten a blood shard yet, either on my
kill account.
It's not very high. I think it's only like a few hundred, like 300, 400,
okay.
something like that.
I was like surprised. I thought you were like thousands.
Yeah, the kills are really slow on my alt just because my combat's only like 95 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just been mainly killing Vires on that account. I also was killing Vires on my main for a little while as well, but neither of them were lucky at all. And just, I mean, I did make like a few 100K on my alt and then like almost a mil on my main.
Okay.
And then I had like, I think at that point I had like actually 10,000 gold in my bank.
Oh my god. So wait, how did you get your 45 mil or whatever?
Yeah, so I had like 10,000 gold and then I was like, oh, maybe I should go do some Slayer. And so I went and like sold the stuff I had got from, so I like made a mil back from Vires, and then I had sold whatever extra stuff I had kept because I keep like the rune bars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I sold all that and then just bought like some potions so I could go do Slayer. And I also bought a cannon.
Okay.
Yeah, so
did you get the Shattered Relic ornament kit for it?
Yeah, I bought the Shattered Relic ornament kit after I sold. I think I ended up selling. So I got like 17 mil, I think, from selling all of those random barrows pieces and like
you said so much.
I had like random other pieces of gear that I didn't really use, and also like a blowpipe that I don't use, and so I ended up selling all that stuff and making like 17 mil somehow, and using that money to buy the ornament kits for the cannon. So if anyone doesn't know, the ornament kit you need to buy one for each piece of the cannon.
I did not remember that. I thought it was just one. I mean, I bought it at the League Points, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's not too expensive. It's only like 1 million gold per kit, so 4 mil total, and then plus the cannon is,
I mean, that's still like way more expensive than the cannon is. It's kind of crazy.
No, yeah, it's very expensive, especially because I only had like 17 mil. So
yeah, it's like a third of your money.
Yeah, so I ended up buying like 10,000 cannonballs and did a few tasks. I actually think I only did like 3 or 4, and then I got assigned like 230 aberrant specters.
Ew.
And so I did like 150, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
They suck. Now that I have like enough Slayer points to unlock the Abyssal head and the Skatizo head, I'm like, I feel comfortable skipping whatever I don't want, which means skipping every Spectre that I get.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not super upset about the aberrant specters. It's just because I got assigned so many of them.
It's always so many. It's always a huge amount.
I don't dislike them just because I'll usually make money even with a cannon in like the Slayer Cave.
Yeah.
Because they drop Renars and also lava battle staffs pretty frequently, and also sometimes even rune gear. And so I'll make money doing that, which is nice because I'm poor. And so
I think they're just like slow to kill.
They are pretty slow.
Especially, I do them in Karen, so even slower.
Yeah, either way, you can only... I don't think there's any place to kill them in multi, so... actually, maybe if you do them in Karen, you can... No, because they're ranged, so they don't stack up.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, they can't stack. Oh, how nice would that be, though?
Yeah,
just
they could stack. Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, unfortunately, I was like fed up after 150, and so I had like 60 or 70 more, and I was like, all right, let me do something else. And so I actually went back to the bank and was like, oh, maybe I can do rune dragons, because I've never like actually done rune dragons. Like I've done...
Some people make entire alts for rune dragons.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times for like here and there for tasks or whatever. But I've never like actually been there for more than, I don't know, like 10 kills. And so I looked it up and I was like, oh, maybe I can actually buy like the cheapest like setup for rune dragons, because you make like, even with the cheapest setup, it's like 1.3 mil an hour.
Yeah,
which
it's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. And so turns out I actually had like some more gear that I could sell, and so I sold like more gear.
Isn't that the best? I noticed that whenever I was trying to buy bonds for the giveaway, because I ended up giving away 10, that I had the most random stuff that I could just sell, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And also I had like a ton of potions. I, for some reason, had like 300 prayer potions, and so I sold like a bunch of those because I didn't need them all, and then like a bunch of other stuff. And also I had a Ring of Suffering imbued that I just like bought for some reason, and I
probably for a boss
pretty much never use, because it's, I mean, it's a good ring, but I like just pretty much never use it unless I'm going to Zulrah. And so,
which is never.
Yeah, I took the L on the points to imbue that and just sold that too, which is like 16 mil, which is nice.
Yeah, Nightmare Zone's not that bad if you need to go back either.
Yeah, and I still have like 4 million points. So.
Oh no, you're fine. You don't even have to go back.
No, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so I ended up selling all that stuff, selling everything that I had, and ended up with like a 47 mil cash stack. And I was like, oh, this is actually...
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
This is probably enough to get Justy, because I wanted AFK, so Justy is something that I wanted. And so I ended up buying Justy.
You didn't tell me what you bought.
I bought a DFS and Abyssal Dagger.
Didn't you already have my Dragonfire Shield?
Yeah, but I never sold it. And
but you could just use mine, I mean.
No, but that gives a negative bonus to melee.
Oh,
it's only good for range.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I ended up getting the DFS and the Abyssal Dagger. So I want to upgrade to the Zami Hosta, but until then, it's a pretty good setup, and I get anywhere between 6 to 8 kills per trip.
That's more than I've ever been able to get there.
Yeah.
Those things mess me up.
I got pretty lucky in like the kills that I had there. So like in less than an hour I made like 700k or something like that in like 20 kills. So I got pretty lucky, but yeah, it was pretty chill. And I was doing that and also Vires on my other account last night.
Still no blood shards, but you'll get there.
Still no blood shards, but either way, it was a pretty chill like AFK experience overall.
Nice.
Yeah, it was definitely the most I've done on my accounts in like a while.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I've just been doing that while like studying or working on other stuff, so I'll probably just keep like doing those things, honestly.
We should say Robert's not planning on continuing the Guardians of the Rift video.
I am, yeah, I am definitely not, because that made me want to quit the game.
I
Because after a
think
while,
you
I
set
ended
maybe
up.
you set too big of goals, and you're like, well, this is awful.
No, it's because after like if the initial like hype was still there, I probably would have kept going. But after a while, I actually ended up like low key hating Guardians of the Rift.
I still like it.
And I already told Michelle about this, but it's because there's like I don't feel, or I haven't connected with the flow of the game. So like,
Oh yeah, you were struggling with that a bit.
yeah, I was telling you like where in Wintertot it's like, oh, it's you don't need a flow for Wintertot because it's just so simple. It's like, oh, you get the logs, you burn the logs. It's
Temperos, you definitely have a flow
pretty,
though.
yeah. With Temperos, you have a flow. It's like, oh, anytime there's double fish up, you get the fish. When they're not, you're cooking.
Yeah.
And it creates like this like nice ebb and flow of like stuff you're doing.
And you know when the wave's gonna show up, when all this stuff's gonna happen.
When the wave's gonna show up, it's like not that big a deal. But whenever in Guardians of the Rift, whenever I like am in the middle of something or oh, this is the worst, when you miss a portal,
it like actually destroys your entire round.
I just want to leave the game. Like usually I told Michelle, usually whenever that happens, I'll just sit there for like 30 seconds to like mimic me going into the portal, just because I don't want to like
it messes up your timing for the rest of the
I don't
round.
want to mess up the timings for the rest of the stuff, and then I'll just like continue as if I would like went to the portal.
So unfortunate.
It's honestly awful, but I ended up like kind of hating Guardians of the Rift after a while, so I just like put a skip on that one. Yeah, which is nice because I sold all of the death runes I got from there for like 2 mil.
Oh my gosh.
But
I'm
sure
using all the death runes. That's nice.
Eventually, I will get the outfit, but that's once I get back to rune crafting, because I still like Guardians of the Rift for rune crafting better than any of the other methods.
Oh yeah, I think
except for Bloods, but
I think instead of having to think of it as a video idea where you need to get this done, if you just saw it as training rune crafting for fun, it would be way more enjoyable.
Yeah, maybe.
I think sometimes putting the added pressure of being like, oh, I need to do this makes things way less fun.
I think it was most annoying because I wanted to get the video done, but also I wanted to like take a break and do other stuff, but that would entail me like using or getting runes from like Vorkath or something, and I had to like keep the gear separated, and it was just really annoying having to deal with that because I didn't want to like ruin the results of
like the loot tab get messed up, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But speaking of Guardians of the Rift, we can actually go right into the update this week, which does talk a bit about Guardians of the Rift and Beneath Cursed Sands. Really not that much going on this week, but there were some improvements for Guardians of the Rift, which is actually really cool. I really like these only 4 patch note lines for Guardians of the Rift.
Okay.
But so they made it so that the abyssal red, blue, and green dyes can now be used to recolor the Amulet of the Eye and the Lost Bag.
Oh, I remember their drawings or whatever for that. They look really pretty.
They do. On top of that, probably the coolest thing, or one of the cooler things, is that the Amulet of the Eye now has a function. It can actually give you infinite teleports to the Guardians of the Rift lobby.
Wait, that's huge.
Yeah.
Getting there is such a pain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
you
not
could
the
just
most annoying.
You could just take the minigame.
Oh, I use the fairy ring. Maybe that's why it's annoying for me.
Probably. I was like, you can just
I have
take
to
the
go
minigame,
home, use the
teleport.
fairy ring, run downstairs. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm just glad that they added a functionality to the necklace because it was pretty cool, but it was just wasn't useful.
Fashionscape.
Besides that, they also added the locket and the bag to the collection log, which will be retroactive.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that it wasn't before.
Yeah, exactly. And now the collection log will display the number of rifts searched and rifts closed, so keep those numbers separate. Besides that, they made a little bit of changes to Beneath Cursed Sands. They removed the slash bonus to the Karis Partisan, so it's more strictly an anti-Calphite weapon now.
Oh, okay.
Because they're just mainly going to be using it for the crush bonus.
Yeah.
And then they also made it so the Pharaoh Scepter, it's more obvious what you're going to be giving for the charges, because it was kind of
I don't think that they said obvious. Whenever I did it.
Yeah, it didn't really tell you. I was like,
take whatever I have.
And they fixed some animations with the Shadow Boss from the quest.
Nice.
As far as like other stuff, there's just some changes here and there, some updates. But besides that, the
Easter Bunny's gone. You forgot the biggest one.
Yeah, sorry. The Easter Bunny is gone,
sorry,
unfortunately.
Everyone.
He'll be back next year, and hopefully, I'm sure everything will be prepared properly this time.
Yeah, nothing will go wrong.
Nothing will go wrong. Besides that, though, there is a small another release for the tabletop game, RuneScape Kingdoms Shadow of Elvarg. So previously, we did have the Knight, the Skiller, and the Wizard. But they also just released a look at the Archer mini, the avatar for it. So
cute.
Looks pretty cool. Looks like they are wearing what's it
I don't
called?
even know what gear that is.
It looks
It's
like
a crossbow.
it looks like Armadillo and just like a random bow. Like
Okay.
it's like kind of unidentifiable.
You can paint it to look however you want.
Yes, exactly. But either way, oh, it says early game ranged gear, so definitely not
Oh.
Armadillo. With a short bow and bronze arrows. So it looks like they're wearing leather body with chaps and boots.
Oh,
And
cute.
yeah, so it's just meant to be like a
The fact that it's like
little
shiny
archer.
looking in the picture makes it look like it's better than leather.
I know, right? I was like Armadillo? No, it's definitely not.
Nah.
It's yeah.
Almost.
Either way, they do mention that the Steam Forge Kickstarter will only be running for 10 days. So if you are still keen on this, it hasn't come out yet, so don't worry. But when it does
May
come out,
31st.
you can sign up to get notified when it does go live. Because like we said, it's only going to be out for 10 days. So if you're keen on,
Supporting it.
being a tabletopper, then yeah, be
I
on the
am
lookout for that.
now.
But going into the Giants Foundry,
I'm interested in this.
you're interested in this?
Yes.
Well, I'm not, so that'll be interesting to see. But
I don't know anything about this.
either way, there was some feedback for the rewards because a lot of people, like myself, were kind of saying that the rewards were a little underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And while we kind of like the idea of Giants Foundry, the current rewards on offer don't really have much incentive.
Yeah.
So they did add some of the new stuff that they did mention, such as the Smith's uniform. This is going to
That's a
be
cute name for it.
I agree, right? This is going to be the outfit that is going to be for smithing, and it's going to give you a 20% chance to reduce the smithing speed on an anvil by 1 tick, up to 100% chance with the full outfit. On top of that, you're going to get a 20% chance for an extra bit of completion per outfit piece, again, up to 100% when you have the full outfit. And I'm guessing the completion will be for the minigame itself.
Yeah.
And it is going to comprise of gloves, boots, top, bottom, and those are the benefits that it'll offer.
Okay.
What is really nice, though, is you can combine the ice gloves with the gloves in the uniform to give yourself the bonus added benefit of the ice gloves in the Foundry. So
That's huge,
pretty cool.
actually.
Another thing that they're experimenting with is the Colossal Blade. Previously, the Hill Giants Club Ornament Kit.
What? Are they not doing the ornament kit anymore?
Yeah, apparently
I was
they
excited for
didn't
the
want to do the
ornament kit.
ornament kit.
That was like the one thing I was most excited for here. Are you kidding me?
I know. I'm
Oh
actually
my
really upset
God.
about this.
Couldn't we do both? Couldn't you do this and the ornament kit?
Yeah, no.
Have you guys not noticed?
Unfortunately.
I love an ornament kit.
Yeah, apparently no one else does.
Uh,
But
we were both excited about this. I remember you were like, "Oh, this is like the one cool thing."
yeah, literally. So now they're putting a brand new weapon on offer that is completely useless, but if you want it to
I mean,
look
it might
cool,
be useful for lower level people.
it's not. But so it is going to be 50 attack to wield it. It is again called the Colossus Blade. It gives you a mighty sword similar to ones that you're giving to Kovac.
I mean, it probably looks cool.
It does look very cool. There is some models for it.
Oh, okay.
It sits just in between a Rune 2H and a Dragon 2H in terms of stats, and it says you'll be able to use this mighty blade to cut through all manner of foes.
I feel like that'd be nice if you're low level though. You're like 50 attack, right?
Yeah, maybe. I guess if you can't get your hands on a Dragon 2H, if you are using that for whatever reason as a member, then yeah, I guess this might be a decent in between.
I want the ornament kit.
Yeah. As far as the ore packs go, they did make it so that you are mainly going to be receiving coal with a slight chance of other stuff. And one cool thing is they are adding more functionality to the smithing catalyst. So they felt it was in a good place. This is the thing that makes it so I think it reduces how much coal you use and gives you double the XP. But they also made it usable at the blast furnace. So instead of reducing the amount of coal, it gives you double XP even at the blast furnace per bar.
That's actually huge.
Yeah, this is actually crazy. So
it's like new goldsmith gauntlets.
Yeah, so if you want to like blast XP
literally
to the max, then you can get this and do goldsmithing at the blast furnace, and that's just going to be crazy amounts of XP.
I wonder if it stacks with the goldsmithing gauntlets.
I sure hope so.
If not, I mean, people who don't like making gold but want that bonus.
Yeah, maybe it only works with other stuff and not gold, because it is like they do talk a lot about how it won't cut the cost of coal down, any further than it already does. So I'm guessing that maybe it might only work with other stuff that requires coal.
I mean, that's still good because I know there's a lot of people at Blast Furnace who don't like doing gold because you can't make money from it. You lose money.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah. So people who want to make other bars that you can make money will now get like comparable XP probably.
Yeah, that would be really cool. If like if you're blasting out like adamant or something and you're just getting
double XP.
Yeah. It probably would cost you a ton of these smithing catalysts, but it would be cool for the short amount of time you can do it.
Yeah.
As far as other concepts, people were concerned with the real question is what the experience per hour is going to be. This is something I was also concerned with because it just didn't seem like much, and they confirmed that it's not much. So they said that,
oh, okay.
This means that you'll be getting roughly between 75 and 85,000 per hour at the very highest tier. So that's maximum. And that's getting 13 swords with an optimal setup and molds for the equivalent level.
I mean, I thought it was going to be worse.
I was hoping that this was the worst and it would like be higher than this.
I thought it'd be like 50.
Yeah, this is very, very low. The thing is, so like my main issue is, so they're reducing the amount of bars you need, but that's like not a problem that I personally have, because if I'm at like motherload mine for 1,000 hours, I'm gonna have way more bars than I'll ever need. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why you need to reduce or optimize how much experience per bar I'm getting if I'm gonna have 1 billion of them.
I mean, presumably some accounts will benefit from it.
No, for sure. I mean, some people will like it. No doubt. I'm just saying
it's not you.
Yeah. Definitely not the target audience, I guess. Another thing is they're asking about devaluing resources, and I don't see how this will really devalue resources as far as like I can see, because I mean you're just using bars, you're not like getting anything out of the mini game. So if anything, it's going to reduce the total amount of items in the game because it'll reduce the amount of items for high alching.
It's basically like a bar sink.
Yeah, exactly. As far as Giant Foundry, they've done nothing to actually address the usefulness of smithing as a skill within the game. Why not rework smithing altogether? This is also something I was thinking.
That's a good question. We've talked about this.
Yeah, because like everyone knows, it takes 99 smithing to make a level 50 item, which weird. Is insane. So it's a pretty useless skill in general, and so they're saying that they totally agree it's a useless skill, but would take a really long time to rework everything.
Take years.
Yeah, so
which I mean they could do for years.
Yeah, they do say that the entire smithing rework would take years, which I mean I guess, but
you might as well start now.
Yeah, they pretty much just admitted to like never ever wanting to rework it.
And I'm like, just because it takes, I mean, the longer you put it off, the more years it's gonna take.
Yeah, I'm like, this is kind of like, I don't know.
The next question I like a lot.
Little counterintuitive, but either way, they're saying, why hasn't mining been addressed with this update? That skill needs as much love as smithing. It's repetitive and boring. Shots fired.
I like shooting stars, so I won't complain about that at least.
Yeah, sure. But it says, we agree, and we'd love to have more content to fill that space too, but this didn't feel like the right place or right piece of content, rather, for the job. It would have disconnected the Giant's Foundry even further from the rest of the economy.
I don't like that they didn't acknowledge, like, that they're working on any mining things right now. I was hoping they'd be like, we have something else in the works.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It just feels like kind of like a disconnect that they would do this over mining first.
Remember, we totally were convinced it was going to be mining.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be gold.
Why would it be smithing? Why would it be smithing?
Yeah.
Either way, so the Sleeping Giant is going to be a pre-quest.
The quest is going to be fun, I bet.
Yeah, I agree. All the stuff we're going to be going through is going to be part of a poll that's going to be happening soon, and these are going to be the poll questions. So the quest that they are asking about is going to be Sleeping Giant's quest. It's going to be an early game quest requiring only 15 smithing and rewarding a little bit of experience and access to the Giant's Foundry. And the question is, do you want this to exist?
I'm going to vote yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they make a good point talking about the Giant's Foundry too, because people are like, why isn't it give more XP? Why all this? They're like, we're just trying to give you something fun to do, which I appreciate.
Yeah, their main justification for the lack of experience is that they want to offer something that is more enticing to the mind than Blast Furnace over and over again.
Yeah, which I like. I like stuff like this more, even if it's less XP.
Yeah, while I do hate this in general, I do understand that
Where they're coming from.
that sentiment.
And I love the design of it. The designs are really pretty.
The design is very cool. It seems like it was like very like it just seems cool. Like it's like really well put together.
It's very Corinne-esque.
Yeah, and it has like I like the cold and the lava like right next to each other.
Yeah, the waterfall and lava next to each other looks really nice.
Yeah, the art for it looks really cool. Either way, they're also talking about the gameplay. This is something we've been over before.
Yeah, we don't need to totally go over it again.
Yeah, essentially there's molds. You pick the best mold for what the guy asks you to make for the sword. And then there's a refining process. You have to either decide to use the hammer, stone, polishing wheel, lava pool, or waterfall to make the best weapon you possibly can. And then you give it to him and you get experience. It can be all the way from the lowest level being actually under 1,000 experience all the way up to the highest level, which is going to be just over 6,000 experience.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's 1,000 experience to just over 6,000 experience.
I mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and this is using optimal mold bonuses for the appropriate level.
Yeah.
And it's going to take more time to build higher level swords, up to 5 minutes or just around 5 minutes for the higher level swords, and 1 minute or 3 minutes, for the lower level swords.
Okay.
So, they do say that you can make about 13 swords per hour, and that's what they got with the 70 to 80,000 experience range.
Nice.
But in general, it just shows that you're going to be making about half as much experience per hour compared to goldsmithing with no gauntlets, and a quarter as much with goldsmithing with gauntlets. So
I think I will probably, depending if it's actually fun to do, I think I'll probably just split between those two. Like, grinding it out whenever I feel like really sweaty, and then whenever I feel like just having fun, just going to Giant's Foundry.
I've always been a fan of the blast furnace for making money, so I just don't mind doing
Oh yeah,
that.
I only do gold bars there, so I do not make money.
Yeah.
But I have like 50,000 gold ores I've been waiting to use.
Yeah. They do say that one of the key benefits for the Giant's Foundry is that you'll use fewer materials per hour, giving you more XP per bar. They even say by far the most XP per bar in the game compared to any of the other methods in the game.
But remember, everyone, it's BYOB. Bring your own bars.
Yes. We estimate that you'll save at least 90% on resources compared to other methods, which is 200 to 400 bars per hour.
Yeah, that is pretty significant then.
So if you have such a disdain for mining, then this might be your preferred method, because you definitely won't have to do more mining than necessary.
I could already see someone reading this who hates mining. Like, my time has finally come.
Yeah, I mean that's who's
mining is a pain.
That's essentially who it's for. If you hate mining or hate getting mining stuff for smithing, then this is going to be what you got to do.
It's gonna be your place.
Yeah. Second poll question is: should they add the Giant's Foundry?
I'll vote yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine in general. Like I said, I think some of the benefits are cool. I think the outfit is really cool.
The outfit's nice. We're gonna talk about that in a sec.
Yeah, but I definitely won't be doing it for fun. As far as the Smith's uniform, I already explained what it is, and the next question is: should it exist?
Yeah, and we'll be putting pictures, or links to this blog post so you guys could all go and see the pictures. It reminded me a lot of the Prospectors.
It does look a lot like Prospectors.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
different.
the point.
Different enough to where you'd want both outfits, though.
Yeah. Of course, ore packs, do you want them to be in the game? Molds, do you want those to be in the game?
We don't even get asked about the Hill Giant ornament kit, but
Yeah.
whatever.
They do. One thing I actually would probably say no on is the 8 Cannonball mold.
No, I'm voting yes for sure.
Just because I think the 4 is good enough, and then by the time you would really need the 8, you're probably killing the bosses that drop cannonballs, and at that point you don't need to make them anymore.
I'm gonna vote yes.
Yeah, I'll definitely
for
vote
our
no on that.
GIM, because I'll probably be making those just to do AFK stuff.
When you play the GIM.
Eventually.
Yeah, in 100 years. As far as a smithing catalyst, should that be put into the game?
Definitely voting yes.
Kovacs Grog, which is the +4 smithing boost.
Oh yeah, that one would be really nice.
And then the Colossal Blade is
the Colossal
final
Blade
one.
looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool. It's a sword that's bigger than you are tall, pretty much.
Are you dragging along, or is that just what it looks like?
Yeah, you drag it in the dirt because it's so big.
That would look really cool, going to fight a boss and just dragging a sword along with you.
It would be.
I like that idea.
But also, you wouldn't use this for any boss because I'll tell you the stats.
I know they're bad.
So it's 77 slash, 65 crush, 80 strength, and a 7 attack rating, almost twice as much as a scimitar. So the animations look really cool. but I would actually prefer to just not see this in the game.
You know where it'd be good is like costume parties, like the one at our birthday stream
Yeah.
one.
No, definitely for Fashionscape it's cool, but
I like it for
I'd rather
Fashionscape.
just have the ornament kit.
I want the
honestly.
ornament kit too. Why can't we have both?
If they just kept this and made it an ornament kit, that'd be fine with me. But as far as bringing a new weapon that has pretty much no point in the game, I'm all good for not seeing it.
They should have just said it was a Fashionscape, and then we'd probably like it more.
Yeah, absolutely. But moving on to the arena summary poll blog. This is a trash fire of a poll blog, to say the least.
You guys didn't hear. Almost everything didn't pass.
Yeah, pretty much everything didn't pass, or everything that was PvP related did not pass. So a lot of people were wondering why your voting was restricted, us included, because they never once communicated that they were restricting the voting like they have in the past for like Iron Man stuff, GIM stuff, UIM stuff. They restricted that to other people that were, of course, Iron Man and GIM accounts.
Yeah.
And this was no different, but they just never let us know that it was going to be restricted to players that had either won an LMS or I think they either won or participated in LMS, and then whether they had a PvP kill on their account.
Non-LMS related.
At least one. Yeah, not LMS.
Because I saw some people on Reddit complain that they've like done a ton of LMS, but they were unable to vote in this blog.
Yeah,
or a poll.
I think it says that you had to have won an LMS.
Okay, I mean, you're still trying.
Yeah.
It's not your fault you're bad at it.
Yeah, you had to have, which is, yeah, that's kind of a high bar.
Is that kind of mean?
But
I've killed during LMS. I've never won LMS.
No, yeah, you had to have won LMS or killed a player in the open world. So that's
weird.
Yeah, that's how they were classifying who could and couldn't vote, and they said, sorry for not letting everyone know. But yeah, they're like it's funny because they're like, this is like the strictest we've ever been about like adding these like who can and can't vote, but also we forgot to tell you guys.
We just never said anything.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny. But they do go on to say that there was various concerns raised about players being able to skip iconic grinds or bypass content to gain gear. Why were these not addressed? So they're saying that one of the main issues surrounding traditional PvP is how accessible it is. Players are only interested in PvP and have to engage in almost every aspect of the game in order to get their accounts ready to fight. And this can be daunting for newer players and prevents many from trying it out. Which I guess I would agree. Other areas of the game are now well established and have a healthy population, partaking in a plethora of different updates over the years, which have been added to help grow and sustain the communities that surround them. This is not something PvP has benefited from and is something we'd like to change sooner rather than later. We want to grow the PvP community and rewards from the PvP arena were an attempt to provide an alternative way to obtain items that could be used in PvP situations, whilst ensuring some of those important grinds and milestones still needed to be met to fully complete an account. So it just seems like they were trying to like give an easy route to everyone, and pretty much everyone thought this was a bad idea because they actually have a breakdown of like who voted no on which pieces of content based on what type of account you have. And pretty much the large majority of people that didn't want this were non-iron accounts. And I don't know why that's super significant or interesting. It isn't particularly to me. One thing that is really interesting is the amount of non-PvPers that voted no on this.
I thought PvPers couldn't vote.
Yeah, for whatever reason. I don't know.
Or maybe they did LMS.
Yeah, maybe they did LMS or were qualified in a different way. But the amount of non-PvPers, that means no kills in PvP, that voted no on these were in between 70 and 89%. 88.2% of non-PvPers said no.
What?
Or of the no's were non-PvPers for the ornament kits. It's kind of funny.
This is weird.
Yeah, so even, for instance, they have the limited PvP, which is just 1 to 25 kills, moderate, which is 25 to 50 kills, and high, which is 50 plus kills. And the most amount of, it seems like the highest percentage of no's were from non-PvPers and high PvPers.
People in the middle just didn't care.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. They do provide like a lot of information, which is kind of hard to like really draw anything from. And they do go on to say that you need at least 20 kills in the wilderness or PvP worlds to be able to vote.
Oh, so non-PvPers count as that?
Yeah, I don't know, or a win in LMS. So
Oh, so it's probably more likely the LMS thing.
yeah, I think it's much more like the LMS thing.
Yeah.
As far as like,
Because calling them non-PvPers sounds like it was like main accounts like us, but we were unable to vote.
yeah, right, like
So don't call them non-PvPers. Just say qualified, but haven't killed like actually in the wilderness. Like they're still kind of PvPers.
Yeah, overall there's a ton of data
I'm saying
on
don't
this,
blame us.
which is it's really hard to decipher what any of this really is leading to or meaning.
Yeah,
honestly,
we'll be including the link to this as well if anyone wants to look through it because
Yeah.
it's kind of confusing.
But at the very end of the blurb, they do summarize by saying that when looking at the voting even further, it was clear that any votes cast by non-PvPers would not have been enough to sway the overall results of the poll. The above table shows that even if we had restricted voting in the poll to those who had PvP kills on their account, regardless of how many each player had accumulated, whether it be limited, moderate, or high PvP kills, only the ornament kits, blighted wave sacks, and blighted surge sacks and imbued scrolls had any realistic chance of passing.
Well, I wanted the ornament kits. Wanted the
And,
Dragon Warhammer.
the rest of the PvP arenas, so talking about all of the void gear, all of the fighter's torso, and the barrow's glove, all that stuff pretty much would not have had a chance at all, regardless of who was voting.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, that all failed, and clearly there's a lot more for them to do, and so they just wanted to, I guess, give you as much clarity, I guess, as possible with this post to show you who was voting no. But overall, I mean, this doesn't really provide too much clarity for me. It just seemed like kind of what I expected. But yeah, I guess this was to kind of dissuade any rumors that there were
Rigged, basically.
yeah,
Or
like
spite voting.
Spite voting, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're just saying that pretty much it doesn't matter because even the PvP community itself didn't want any of these changes.
They do say, though, that they want to see if there's a way they could rework what was on offer in the polls so they could be more accepted by the community, which makes me feel hopeful about that ornament kit.
Yeah, so
I don't know why people voted on the ornament kit.
yeah,
It's not game changing, it just looks cool.
yeah, I think they just at that point just didn't want anything to come from the arena at all.
I just really like the Dragon Warhammer to look like that. It looked like all like silvery with the Ceradomin. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I just remember it looked cool.
Either way, so that is pretty much what happened. If you are looking to give any of your feedback, they are looking for surveys and participants to discuss with directly.
Mhm.
And so if you want to give any of your feedback, whether you're a more experienced or a novice, then you can go to their Discord to give PvP feedback. And there is a link to that on this actual PvP poll. So you can go there to check that out as well.
Awesome.
So the final thing is going to be for the Gilnor Gazzette.
So they started the Gilnor Gazette by saying, April, April, April. What a month. So I'm not going to read the entire beginning, which is just talking about their Gam Jam and stuff like that. But
Yep.
they basically go over a recap of what was released this month. So we had the Beneath Cursed Sands quest, and we had the new client features in iOS closed beta. And then they talk about some upcoming content, which we're all excited for. So Tombs of a Masket, everyone. So excited. They said our Definitely Not Hypnotized J-Mods are hard at work on Tombs of Masket, our third rating dungeon. They said that's set to launch this summer, but they know we want a more precise window. And then they don't tell us a more precise window,
Yeah,
which
it was
is
nice.
cool. Yeah, I like that they started like that. But they do include some really, really cool pictures of what's going to look like inside. And it's going to look amazing, you guys. It's going to look so cool.
Yeah, they have the newest concept art is for like an undead monkey.
Oh my god, I love this so much. What if this was a pet? A pet recolored to
I
look
don't
like
think
this?
so. I think it's going to be one of the bosses.
I know, but what if because you know other raids, they have the boss recolors?
Yeah.
Imagine this undead monkey following you around.
That'd be cool.
Bro, that'd be one of the coolest. And then they also have a random pixel drawing poster to tease it, which
It's
is
funny.
random.
I think this teases the 4 final bosses that you have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
and it's an undead monkey, and it looks
An
like
undead warrior, maybe?
yeah, it looks like an undead like warrior and an undead alligator, or I don't know about
Crocodile?
undead, but it's like a crocodile thing, and then like a giant Calphite queen type deal
Oh,
like
I
deal.
could not tell what that last thing was. But anyway, they talk about the PvP arena and how everything failed. And they're going to hopefully talk about the next steps in a dedicated blog coming soon. The Giants Foundry, as we all know, we went over that earlier. It's going to be coming soon. If it passes the polls, we'll see.
We'll see.
The Dead Man rerun. Bro, how is this still existing? The beta took place, though. The Dead Man...
The Dead Man.
The Dead Man rerun. The open beta took place, and that was the first step to making sure that they're going to be able to actually make it happen. And now they are taking part, or like taking applicants or whatever for the final part of the second closed beta, really testing it out. I don't know why. I'm really tired of just hearing about these, honestly. The Poll 76. If you missed this section in the weekly news post, here's the lowdown. We know how eager you are to see the changes pulled in Poll 76 in the live game, but unfortunately, our update schedule hasn't given us much room to squeeze them in between the rest of our planned content. We appreciate that some of the Poll 76 changes might seem small from the outside, but there's still need time to plan and test before launch. For now, please trust that we hear your concerns, and we're already working to get those changes to you as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Which is funny because I know a lot of people would say, oh, you guys don't test your stuff out because... there's always updates.
Yeah, there's
issues.
Yeah, there's always issues.
And then they go to talk about quest speed running, which I'm very interested in.
Yeah, this is something they mentioned before.
It says that they last talked about all the way back in 2020.
2020?
Uh-huh.
Nice. What year is that?
It's a long time ago.
Oh, that was a long time ago?
Yeah. When it was but a wee ideation prototype. Today we're excited to announce that we are in the early stages of turning it into a fully fledged project. It's still early days, but since the original ideation pitch was so well developed, if we do say so ourselves, we're hopeful that it might not actually take too long to make it to release. And future Gazettes will talk about the finished project, what the finished project might look like, but for now, let's have a recap of the overall concept. So we envision quest speedrunning as a new activity that takes place on special speedrunning worlds. Much like leagues, these worlds will have separate save profile, which would allow you to speedrun eligible quests as many times as you like. At launch, only a few quests will be available, but we'll add more over time. You'll be able to select a quest from your quest list, which will bring up a menu with details on unlocks and items provided along with times to aim for. Hitting specific milestones will unlock trophies and give you points. Once you've set up the speedrun to your liking, you'll be teleported to the quest start point with the items and unlocks you selected. Hey, let's circle back to those points. They're not just for clout. As with leagues, we have the option of transferring these points to your main profile to be spent on snazzy new items. We hope that's got you all excited for quest speedrunning. We hopefully will have more to share soon, but for now, here's a few images of the prototype. It's basically just showing
Yeah, it has like a little interface.
It's like a little interface that show like quests and like little trophies and stuff. And I want to see what the rewards are gonna be, what I can spend my points on.
But yeah, there's a very short list of quests that are either short, very short, medium, or very long. And it also shows you platinum, gold, silver, and bronze rankings and what those timings would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think overall this is pretty cool. This is, I think, one of their better ideation things because this is already a thing that happens in game. But the annoying part is you have to make a new account every time you want to actually participate in them.
I didn't know that they meant like they're going to make like a league style thing, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm actually pretty excited for this.
Yeah, so it seems pretty cool. It seems like everyone's going to start with like the same items and stuff like that. So it's set up in a controlled environment, and then you can kind of just blast through it in whatever way you think is the fastest.
Yeah, that's way better too.
Compete with people.
All right, so now we're going to talk about that Game Jam overview.
Gammy Jam.
They talk about some of the projects and make sure it's clear that these are just concepts. First one, please don't be a concept. Please make this happen. Dogs of Gillinor.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about at the beginning. Kitties and doggies.
So, shout out to Mod Grub, Havoc, Jerv, Light, Oasis, Skylark, Torrance, and Wolfie for working on this. So, we know you love petting dogs. How about owning them? Dogs of Gillinor is a new pet expansion accompanied by a suitably dog-friendly quest. The monks east of Ice Mountain are strapped for cash and set up a shelter for the lost and homeless doggies of the world. Oh my god, I'm in love. But they don't just let anyone adopt. You need to demonstrate that you're a caring and loving dog owner. Thankfully, you get the chance to prove yourself when the Varrock stray dog shows up with a litter of puppies, one of whom will join you on your adventures. I'm internally screaming right now. I'm reading this for the first time.
It's funny because this is pretty cool, but also, are we just going to end up forfeiting these dogs for death runes?
Yes. So, yeah, it just says that you're going to bond with your new furry friend and help the monks with the rescue mission of their own. And this, they say you read that right. This quest will get you your very own puppy to raise into a fully grown dog. You'll be able to rename your pooch, teach it tricks, and bring it along in your adventures. Oh, that's more than we could do with the cats. Why can't we name our cats?
That's pretty cool. And there's several different kinds of dogs.
Yeah, they show like, I think it's like a greyhound. It looks like a lab, a schnauzer, a bulldog, a sheepdog, and a Dalmatian.
Yep.
Wow, I guess I know a lot of dog breeds.
I know, that was pretty close. I was
pretty
totally
good.
Lost my thought process on the sheepdog.
Feeling pretty proud of myself for that. So the next thing that they talk about is the last man standing modes.
This seems pretty cool.
This was Mod Ash and Mod Goblin, who I didn't know that was the thing, but that would be my mod name.
Mod Goblin's a newer goblin.
A newer mod?
Yeah. Yeah, they recently were added to the team.
Oh, perfect. We decided to spice up Last Man Standing with some potential new modes. In the prototype, players can select one of the following options from the lobby. So Pure, 1 defense build, Zerker, 45 defense build, and Main, classic build. So basically you can like drag a bunch of items and stuff.
Yeah, you
and
can like...
it gives you like little kits.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like essentially loadouts for Call of Duty. Like you'll have everything that you need depending on what you end up using, whether that be Zerker, Max, or, one defense Pures.
Yeah. The next one looks really cool. So this one
looks really cool. This is probably one of my favorite ideas.
This is the Tactical Trials. So shout out Mod Arcane, Brow, Elena, Grub, Halo, Husky. It just says Mod, Jerv, Rye, and West. The Tactical Trials is a new wave-based challenge similar to the 5 Caves in the Inferno, but it takes place on Mount Carum, where you've been challenged to become the new champion of the Tactical.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Oh my god, the concept art for the creatures is so cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've told everyone how I love how this area looks. Mount Carum, all like the blue glowy stuff.
Blue glow
I
really
love
cool.
it so much.
And for anyone like wondering like how this will work, they do say that it's heavily inspired by Path of Exile's Ultimatum League, which they love for its risk and reward playstyle. And so essentially the way it's going to work is there's going to be 3 bosses, and whenever you get to the first boss and defeat him, you can either take your items or your rewards or select a new, more difficult version of the game and then carry on and get more rewards.
Oh, so double or nothing.
Yeah, so for instance, they do say some will be simple so that you can, after you defeat the first boss, maybe you'll select something that'll just make all the mobs do slightly more damage or something like that.
This sounds so interesting.
And so you'll be rewarded with more rewards, but it'll be more difficult. And it can be even more complex stuff that you can add on to the bosses to make them more difficult, just depending on what you get. So every encounter is going to be different.
Wow.
And in their own unique way.
I really like that. And the art is just amazing. The first one kind of reminds me of like Hydra, but it's like cooler.
Yeah.
It looks like rock with glowy blue on it. I don't know, it's sick.
And they do have a look at the type of interface that they're going to have for the actual for the waves themselves. So it'll show what type of loot you're going to be earning on the left, its estimated value, and you can claim and leave after, like I said, any of the bosses. And then if you decide to go on, they show you what type of loot you can earn next. It shows
T-bow?
It shows a T-bow, but I like maybe they're memeing just for the
because it also
picture.
says I don't know. That's
it says loot earned next wave and it shows a T-bow. So I don't know if they're just like joking.
If you could get T-bow from this, bruh, this is
would,
my new favorite boss.
That would be kind of crazy.
I bet it would be so hard.
A few of the additional affixes that you can bring to this encounter. One of them is called Immortal Wrath. Immortal Wraith rather. An Immortal Wraith will follow you in the arena, so just constantly trying to kill you. Another one is Level Down, so maximum health is decreased by 30%.
Jeez.
Or Lucky Hits, where monsters get lucky accuracy.
This is cool.
You select one of them, and so that makes the encounter more difficult, and they are seemingly random every time.
I like that it's so like customized.
Yeah.
Like you get to choose how it is. That's really cool.
So it's pretty cool, and also on top of that, they are going to be giving you best in slot weapons. They said to make your chances in the trials better, and also it'll upgrade over time as you go through the trials. So for instance, if you're not going to have the same weapon on tier 1 as you did in tier 3, it'll get better, so you'll have a better chance of winning.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And they did say earlier that's not going to be exactly like fight caves. It's going to be like my impression when I read, it's going to be like 3 bosses in 3 different waves rather than 45 minutes to get to one boss.
Yeah, they do go through and say that it's not going to be so much based on like mechanics in particular. They are going to have you base it more around your strategy and how you're going to assess what's happening at the moment.
This sounds really cool.
Yeah, so it does seem really, really cool.
This one also sounds really cool. Player-owned farms. Mods Argo, Melia, and Tide. We have player-owned houses. How about a player-owned farm? Located somewhere in Gilnor and available at low farming levels, this content will let you keep and care for a variety of different animals.
That's awesome.
You love that, right?
Yeah,
I love
course.
that. Come on. We initially talked about something close to RuneScape's player-owned farm, where you fill pens with animals found throughout the world, raise and feed them, and eventually sell them for beans. Those beans can then be used to purchase a variety of rewards. Not even death runes, just beans.
Just beans.
We saw a lot of potential here, but since we only had a week to work on our Gam Jam projects, we decided to focus on some less ambitious farming features. Firstly, ponds. This is a new kind of patch specifically designed for your fishy friends, which can be purchased with beans, so they're really sticking with the bean thing. Pop some roe in the pond and you'll get fish. The number's determined by your farming level. Oh my god, I'd get 1 million fish.
Yeah.
To get roe, you use a knife on the kind of fish you're hoping to farm. Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, right? What? Wait, you
So
use a bunch of dead fish to make more fish?
Yeah, they're saying if you want like salmon, you have to like cut open the salmon and take its like babies and farm them
Wait,
like in real life.
Oh my god.
But yeah, they do say you won't get XP for this.
Oh, okay. The upside to farming fish is you can get a lot of them at once without needing bait. And then, yeah, the no fishing XP is the downside.
Yeah, it's mainly just for resources, for like cooking and stuff like that.
It's really dark to think you're just cutting open these to farm their babies.
Yeah.
Next up, bees. These wonderful little creatures will be right at home next to your flower pouches once you built a beehive for them to live in. Different tiers of hives are available. The better the tier, the more honey you'll receive. You'll need to buy more bees with beans.
Yeah, of course you will.
They're really cute. I want a little bee house.
A little bee bean.
Why did I say house?
It's cool the stuff that you can buy though. It does seem like it could be pretty useful.
Oh, okay. So I'll continue the bees before I get to that. So to harvest that sweet, sweet honey, you'll need bees in your hive in a fully grown flower patch. When you're ready to harvest, you gotta pick the flower before gathering the honey, or gather the honey, which automatically removes the flower and gives you a seed in return. Your little buddies did a great job of pollinating. In either case, you'll get XP for both the honey and the flower. Don't forget to bring a smoker with you, or you'll get stung.
Yeah.
This is like a nice little farming XP thing.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
especially
sure
because farming early on is really lame.
Yeah, I bet that this will be low XP, but also really early on, you don't need a lot of XP to level up.
No, yeah. Especially if you are doing this along with
Like
like tree runs or something.
I was gonna say tithe farm. You can't even do tithe farm early.
Yeah, that's 24.
Yeah.
Or no, that's 34.
35.
Yeah, 35.
Hives can't get diseases, but there's a low chance that your bees might swarm while you're busy growing your flowers. Mechanically, this means that honey production will take twice as long for a set duration. If you catch the swarm, however, you can sell it for beans or put it back in the hive to return to full production. I like that. That reminds me of birdhouses.
Yeah.
Different flowers give you different kind of honey, and we have a few ideas about what you could use it for. So new kinds of tea, potion of luck ingredient, new energy potion, somewhere between the stamina and super energy, prayer renewal potion, and feed for other animals. Now that's what we call a sweet update. I think that's adorable.
It seems pretty cool.
That's really cool.
I also really like this next one. I think it's a really good idea.
So this one is Temporary Seasonal High Scores by Modboko. Modboko has been looking into the idea of bringing seasonal high scores to the game. Essentially, this service would open the door for a time-limited bespoke high score, something that RuneScape already has. Initially, we'd look at monthly and weekly high scores for skilling, with specific and time-based high scores like quickest, King Black Dragon, kill to follow. Here's where you come in. We want you to tell us which kind of high scores you'd most like to see so you can plan accordingly. I like that.
I think this is kind of cool because it is very similar to like the season style of gameplay that you'll see in stuff like
other games.
like for instance Apex Legends or like Diablo or Path of Exile, where they have like stats that are pretty cool to pay attention to for a short period of time, and then they switch them up. So it'd be nice to see like, I don't know, like a couple skills, a couple bosses that they're particularly focused on. And so you can see like how much people are just like blasting through these bosses and stuff like that.
It made me think of people who stop by on the stream and play like bingo, and they're like, "Oh, our goal this week is to do a bunch of skilling." So it kind of sounds like that, yeah.
Yeah, where they're all like, "Oh, I won bingo because I did like I don't know, 5 million like agility XP or something like that.
Yeah, and maybe it would be nice to get a little shout out, some appreciation for people who are good at very niche things.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this. I think that's
that'd
really
be
cool.
And then it reset maybe every like month or two.
Yeah, but at least you get a screenshot if you're in the high scores.
Yeah.
Port Piscarilius reworks. This is mod Ed, Errol, Grub, Lenny, Mac, Nin, and West. It's another Corinne refresh. This time we're breathing new life into the Piscarilius and its surroundings. Like the previous reworks for Hosidius and Shazian, this would see improvements to both the layout and the visual style of the town, as well as improving content in the area. Already in love with this? Here's something we've added. The Port Piscarilius shipyard would be a small crafting training method. Interesting.
That's cool.
The shipyard is renowned across Gilnor as the #1 place to get your boat serviced, so captains from all across the world would visit for repairs and replacements. The shipyard also needs more workers, and they'll offer a fair wage for your help. I'm assuming this would give you, what's it called? Like, favor.
Oh, yeah, maybe it would give you favor, too.
So it says, using logs, nails, planks, and all new bearings made of smithing, your job is to craft high-quality ship parts and fix them to the boats that come into the yard. So basic materials have been salvaged from the incoming boats, but you can bring your own higher quality materials and craft better parts for more XP and GP. Mix and match materials of different tiers to balance cost and quality, craft the ship parts for crafting XP, then take them to the boat and for an additional bit of construction. Then talk to the shipyard master for your payment and get started on the next boat. That's a cute idea. And also, the drawing for the rework looks really nice.
It looks way better.
The way it is right now, it's just very flat.
The way...
And they're adding, like, more, like, layers to it, which I like.
Piscarilius is, like, they don't have... Like, it seems really disjointed, the way everything is laid out.
I could agree with that.
And also, I think this new, like, minigame-esque type of thing does seem really cool.
It seems fun.
Yeah, it seems like... I don't know if, you know, how many people would use it, but it does seem really cool.
It'd be something nice to try out. And something to do in Piscarilius, because there's not really much to do there.
Yeah, there's just, like, anglers, pretty much.
Maybe it wouldn't be, like, the most popular thing, but I'm always for adding small things all over this game.
Yeah, I agree. And there's not too much in Corinne right now anyway, so that'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. Next one, the return of Twisted Tales. This is mod Ed, Lenny, Nin, and Mac. So Twisted Tales are short standalone quests set in Corinne and Kevos. What? The first of these, Gang Ahead, came out in 2020. We chose to skip Twisted Tales in 2021 so we could focus on A Kingdom Divided, but now that's live, Twisted Tales are back on the menu. In fact, they're such a popular topic for the Game Jam, that we have 4 ideas to share. Okay, I'm really hyped right now. First one, The Garden of Death. Set in southern Corinne, this quest sees you delving into some hidden ruins to decipher the ancient language of a forgotten race. This quest is a bit different from the ones we've released recently. There are no cutscenes, dialogue, or other characters. Instead, we're taking a more hands-off approach by focusing on exploration discovery and a new puzzle mechanic that'll blow your socks off. This sounds exciting!
Yeah, these are pretty cool. I think a lot of people liked the idea of these Twisted Tales.
I don't even remember this being a thing. It sounds like vaguely familiar.
Yeah, well, I mean, Getting Ahead is already a quest that's in the game, so you've already done one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, Twisted Tales, the name Twisted Tales, only sounds kind of familiar. An inside job. Even the most noble adventurers will have found themselves engaging in the less than reputable thieving skill at some point. In an inside job, you're given the simple task of robbing a house in Hosidius. Things get interesting when you're also hired to catch the thief responsible for the robbery.
Catch yourself.
That sounds fun. Grandma's Kisses. Since we're already working on the Port Piscarilius rework, it made sense to set a Twisted Tale in Piscarilius. This quest embraces old school's dark humor when a simple request to find a missing pet suddenly takes a grim turn.
A simple request is always the worst.
And the last one they mention is Making Ends Meet. M-E-A-T, meet. Corinne and Kebos are filled with all sorts of interesting characters, and Twisted Tales gives the opportunity to flesh out some of the more unusual individuals you meet in these regions. One such individual is Land the Butcher. When Land's in water supply suddenly turns pink, it's up to you to break into Land's basement and discover which secrets he's hiding. Oh, gross.
He's chopping
Is it blood?
up little babies.
Ew, oh my god.
I don't know.
This one seems like it could be cool. Gnome Ball Manager?
Yeah, this is like already a pretty popular game series on Steam.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not Gnome Ball, but like there's
similar things.
Football Manager, which is soccer for the US people, is a really popular game on Steam where you just like manage teams essentially.
Okay.
And they're planning on adding it.
So this is Mod Daezong and Mod Dylan. In No Ball Manager, we're exploring the idea of a fantasy-based sports management game. Like Robert said, you basically kind of like set up teams. So you earn and find the cards while participating in other activities around the world. And these cards do things like provide new athletes, athlete upgrade items, contracts, special plays, and more. Using these cards, the player can build a team, which they can then pitch against other players or AI in our tournaments, leagues, and friendly matches.
Yeah.
That seems kind of fun. I like the idea that you can go and collect them as you go, like
Yeah.
actual like sports
It
cards.
seems pretty cool.
What are they called? Collection cards? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never been into them, but it seems cool.
Playing cards.
Yeah.
I think this is probably one of my favorite ideations.
I like every single one so far, so this is crazy. Woodcutting, Way of the Forester by Mod Squid. I'm already liking this. As a forester, players will interact with events in Gilnor's lush woodlands and deepen their connection to the forest they frequent. I want to do this in real life. From pruning ents to driving away poachers and even being the more secretive inhabitants of the woods, the life of a forester is far from lonely. Everything's better with friends, so get together and get that woodland in order. Who knows, perhaps nature will bestow some kindness in return. I don't even know what this means, but I like it.
Yeah, so essentially this is going to be a set of random dynamic events that'll happen while you're just chopping trees throughout Gilnor. It says it's best to do it with other people, but as far as key features are included, the first one is going to be forestry items and rewards, as well as cosmetics and utility items. They'd like to introduce consumables, tradable items crafted by other skills using items gained through forestry. These are going to add utility and unlock events for forestry. Forester's Campfire, so you can burn leaves on the fire to create a Forester's Campfire. Any player can rest at the fire to gain a short gathering skill bonus. And Foresters can also eat a Forester's ration at the fire to restore some run energy. And tea brewing, so leaves that can be obtained when cutting trees can then be burned on fires or used to brew tea. Each leaf has a different type of property and combine in their own unique ways. So it's pretty cool. It just seems like a random dynamic event set that is going to be like a subset of like woodcutting. So these are just going to be random dynamic events that provide buffs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just makes woodcutting a little bit more interesting, I guess, if you're interested in not just AFKing the whole time.
I think it sounds like a lot of fun. I just like cute, like wilderness woodsy things.
Yeah. By far the coolest thing in all of the ideation.
So we say after every
far,
single thing we list.
This is actually the coolest
Okay.
thing. It's the wilderness expansion. So this is something that Mod Aiza actually mentioned years and years ago. And so this is an expansion to the wilderness that is going to be north of the furthest point currently. And in this area, there is going to be no difference in level. You can attack anyone in this area.
Oh yeah, I remember talking about this.
Yeah, and this area is very large. It looks like it's almost as big as the wilderness is now, but it's in addition to the top of the wilderness as it is. And it's going to have a totally new set of bosses. So there's going to be 3 new bosses and potentially 1 world boss that's going to have over 60 or over just around 60,000 health points. So it's going to be pretty crazy.
What's a world boss? Like everyone has to kill it?
Yeah, so it's going to be the first ever world boss in OSRS. Of course, all of this is just an idea and stuff like that. So they're just
gonna get
I think
popular.
they're just throwing everything in here and seeing what actually ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as bosses, there's going to be a new red dragon boss, and there's new potential
really
items
cool.
that come with it, including the Death Fire Visage.
What a name!
The Lava Visage, which is like a kind of like a dragon fire visage, but for your helmet slot.
Okay.
The Vulcan's Bow, which is an upgraded dark bow that can light enemies on fire, and they have to use anti-fire potions to get rid of it.
Jeez.
And a Thameron's Lava Scepter attachment. So there's not only going to be that, there's going to be the Skull Golem boss. There's going to be particular PKing quests. Like I said, the first ever world boss, which is going to be a level 2500 corrupted boss that's come and escaped from the God Wars dungeon with 60,000 health that you have to kill, and will provide some best in slot upgrades specifically for the wilderness.
That's crazy.
On top of that, there is going to be additional rewards for escorting artifacts. And one of these is going to be a small safe pouch. So this is going to be a safe pouch that will expand the amount of items that you can put in there that will not be dropped on death.
Ooh.
And you can expand this from 2, 4 to 6 safe item slots.
Glad it's not too many items, because then people would be like, no.
Yeah, but it's not going to be something that you can use on the fly. It's going to be just like a regular pouch that you would use in the wilderness, or like a looting bag, so you can only put stuff
Oh.
into it.
So it's not like you could take out gear to use.
Yeah, so for instance, if you just happen to kill someone that has like 4 BGSs, you could put 4 of them in there
Oh,
and
cool.
you would lose all your other stuff like normal, assuming you're like skulled or something like that.
That's really cool. I love this.
Yeah. And another boss that
Oh, the
they have
best.
here is the Rat Enclave boss. It's going to have the Rat Pack item, which is going to potentially drop in. It's a transmog that'll turn you into a rat for 3 seconds.
I love this.
A Stun Javelin, which is a rare item that you can use to stun enemies for a 1-minute cooldown.
Oh, no.
And stunning will make you scold if attacking a non-scold player. So, and the final thing is Rat Slippers.
I need to get these to go with my mole slippers.
Yeah. They're also planning on adding a new impling, a skull.
Oh my god, it looks so cool.
Yeah, which is going to take 88 Hunter in order to barehand it, and it can drop items such as chins, Laren's keys, bones, and the new Ring of Fate, which is going to be a teleport that'll take you all the way into Deep Wilderness to the new safe area.
And not just bones, by the way, lava dragon bones.
Lava dragon bones. And it's going to take you to the new safe area called Skulvik. And this is going to be the safe area for the zone. And it's going to pretty much just have like basic stuff, kind of like how the other safe zone is. I've totally forgot the name of it.
Ferox?
Yeah, Ferox. But besides that, there is quite a few areas in this zone that are going to have a ton of different stuff, including the final thing that I want to mention. Besides the Bounty Hunter Island, there is the Corrupted Revenant Rune.
All right, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, so these runes are just like the regular Revenant, but they're going to have, I'm guessing, higher level enemies with even better drops. Mm-hmm. But there's a really unique way to get into it, including the new Resource Area 2, which has even more resources than before. And the runes will have 3 different entrances that are only open for certain amounts of time. And so it just seems like an entirely out of this world kind of like extra area that is just kind of crazy seeming.
This is amazing. All the new bosses.
Yeah, all the new bosses.
And the rat boss, by the way, it's a rat on top of another rat.
It is. It's a rat riding a rat. And this even includes a little bit of a wilderness course expansion.
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. I used to go to the wilderness course actually all the time.
It's supposed to have similar XP to Sears, so it's going to have an XP increase, also a requirement increase, and it's going to be similar to the pyramid agility, so that you actually get money at the end of it.
Oh, that's nice. Then there's some like reward for your risk being there.
Yeah, precisely. So overall, this seems like a really crazy idea, but also really cool. I am concerned because it just seems like because there's no restrictions that there's just going to be a monopoly of like clans that just demolish everyone here doing anything important.
I think that stuff like that, I hope that stuff like that will they'll be crazy at first and they'll fade down. I'll wait a month before I go.
Yeah. Either way, I think it seems really, really cool.
So cool. I love all the new boss ideas.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And they do say that one of their ideas was to introduce an NPC adventurer that will help PvM players become more comfortable with PvP and also have a lot of funny dialogue.
As you explain why you murdered them in cold blood.
Yes. Precisely. But either way, I think that's by far the coolest thing in all of this ideation.
That's really cool.
But it would be interesting, I guess, to see what other people have to say. So let us know what you think about
we're not PKers,
the other ideation stuff in this area. And the final thing in here is going to be the trading card game. Overall, it seems pretty cool. I'm not really into trading card games, but if you are, this might be right up your alley.
Seems like it'd be something fun to try.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems pretty cool. And if any of this stuff does seem cool to you as well and you want to, take a look at it, there's screenshots for pretty much every single one of them. So feel free to hop on over to the OSRS news page or in the description of the YouTube video and take a look at it because all these do seem like good ideas. I hope at least
the best Gazzette ever.
Yeah, I hope at least a couple of them make it to the game.
I hope they all make it.
Yeah, I really think the wilderness one as well as the task call trials and also farming do seem really cool. I think the dogs are kind of like a shoo-in, but we'll see if that actually ends up happening. But that's going to be about it for the ideation process. To finish up, they did have the survey results from the Quest porting that we all, I think, took earlier this year. So for anyone like wondering, you can actually look at how many people thought the porting would be positive for the game, and overall it just seemed like a huge number of people thought While Gothic Sleeps would have been a positive addition to the
Oh
game.
my gosh, a massive amount.
Yeah, over 84% were saying that it's going to be a really good addition to the game, with only 8% thinking that they weren't really interested in it and that it might negatively impact it. But besides that, Defender of Varrock and the Curse of Arav, Chosen Commander, Nomad's Requiem, Forgiveness of a Chaos Dwarf, and the King of the Dwarves,
Ooh.
The Path of Glofrey, and Rocking Out, and a Clockwork Syringe were all on there, so you can see how well each of them performed. With some of them were, most of them were actually over 75%. All of them were over 70% for sure, and some even up to nearly 90% approval. So
so cool.
Yeah, it seems like it went really well, and it'll be nice to see some of those added into the game as well. As far as this goes, that's going to be about it for the Gilnor Gazette this time around.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a showcase gallery, so if you want to see if your art got showcased, you can check that out as well.
And if anyone's wondering, these quests are not going to be backported immediately. They basically are like, well, that's all we're doing on it for now.
No, yeah, it does seem like this will be a very long process and probably take years, but
still exciting to know it's happening.
It is nice to know. But that's going to be about it.
We still have questions, though.
We do have some questions.
This is a long episode.
There's
so much to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot going on this week because of this Gilnor Gazette.
There's no updates, but there's a lot of Gilnor Gazette.
Yeah, it was nice. There's a lot of really cool new stuff that we could think about and go over.
I know. I'm so excited about it. So, first question, Matt from Instagram. What is your favorite soundtrack region? What I mean by that is certain areas of certain soundtracks like the desert, Mauritania, Karamja, etc. Personally, I love the desert soundtracks. I think they did a superb job with the desert vibe. Special shout out to Tutorial Island. And Matt also thanked us for consistently answering questions, which, of course, we love taking questions.
Course.
My favorite area, Misthalin, just for nostalgia reasons.
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think it just makes me happy.
My favorite, one of my favorite songs is Harmony, which I think is like the song.
I don't remember the names of the tracks.
It's like one of the earliest songs. I don't know if it's like the one you get just when you like land in Lumbridge. I'm not sure, but I really like that one. And also, of course, Sea Shanty.
Duh.
So I really like that one. Also, I do like the creepier Draenor vibes and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely would say Misthalin mostly for the nostalgic.
I think I know them the best. They're the ones that I could like hum along to. Some songs I like hear and I'm still like, whoa, have I heard this before?
Yeah, I think my least favorite is like the Monkey Madness ones and like the Gnome ones.
Oh, really? I don't remember. I think I don't like the desert ones that much, actually. They work for the desert, but they're not my favorite. I like the ones that they make me feel like being outside in nature. I really like the Farming Guild one.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I spend so much time there. Next question from Harriger on Twitter. They said they saw this on Reddit, which was user Iron Wall, but they wanted to make sure we answer it because it was a great question. If you had the chance to hide somewhere in the world of OSRS for 10 hours without being found and their reward is 3 billion gold, which spot would you choose? First of all, I don't think it'd be possible.
Yeah, I think someone would find you.
Someone would find you anywhere. But there's a couple places I was thinking. One is like somewhere by the penguin agility course. But, people are questing every day, so someone would probably find me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's, like, more niche parts that you could hide there. Somewhere on that little iceberg. Another one that I was thinking that I never go to personally is, like, maybe somewhere by the Kebo Swamp. Like, where there's, I know there's, like, a little fire pit. Like, on the left side of the Kebo's lowlands. And I personally only ever go there for a clue scroll. So someone might see me doing a clue scroll. But the first time I ever went there for a clue scroll, I was like, what is this area? Like, I've never been here before.
No, yeah, for sure.
So those are my two. Someone's car is seriously messed up outside. So sorry if you heard that. They were just freaking out about this question. It's hard. Like, people are everywhere in this game.
Yeah, I feel like there's practically nowhere I could really hide.
It sucks because all the places I chose, like, they don't really have buildings. Because obviously stuff with buildings would be better, too.
Yeah.
Another one, I guess, is like Corsair Cove, like that dungeon. You could probably find somewhere niche. But I think even early on, you go there a lot.
I think a lot of free-to-play players go there.
Yeah. Well, would I be in a members?
I don't know. But yeah, this was kind of difficult. I wanted to find a dungeon, and I think ultimately I would find like some type of dungeon underground to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to choose right now, I would probably say the like very end route on top of the Darkmire Castle wall.
No one goes there.
Yeah, because you only ever really go there for Sins of the Father.
That's a good one.
So I don't see why you would ever need to go there for any other reason than Sins of the Father.
And if you go to the way back, I don't think that they even go there on the quest.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They don't go all the way back.
Yeah.
That's a really good answer. Oh,
yeah,
darn it.
so that's probably the place I would pick.
Mine are not great compared to that.
Yeah.
I was literally, it's hard because I'm trying to think of places I don't think of often. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to think of them. I was just looking at a map and being like, what do I not really recognize? Next question is going to be from Saint Wraith. So they, like I said a few weeks ago, they submitted like 1 million questions. So this one is, how do you think Jagex has done so far for accommodating new players while also keeping existing players happy with the game? I feel like they've done a good job. I mean, I'm not a new player, so it's hard for me to answer, but it does seem like they're adding like more stuff, like below ice mountain things, stuff that you could do lower level. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that they're doing well, but I feel not qualified to answer this question, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think they've done the best job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
they still need to add more low and medium bosses.
Yeah,
they haven't really done that.
The thing is, for existing players, I think they're doing an okay job because that's their main focus.
Mm-hmm.
But for new players, I think it's still not very good at all because, I mean, that's why they're adding the new system for newer players that they've been talking about for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this game is just so expansive that there's like little to no instruction when you first get into the game, which is like a good and a bad thing, but it's really overwhelming for a new player, I think. Like
Unholy playing for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, what do I do now? There's not really any direction.
I think a lot of people are like, all right, cool. What do I do?
Yeah.
Like when you first enter the game, like
there's too much. You need to have some guidance.
Like we know, like, oh, do your quest, level up these skills, but it's like if you just land in lumber, just like what am I doing?
Yeah, people like Unholy who literally have no experience with the game are like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like in like I guess in contrast, if you look at a game like World of Warcraft, like whenever you enter the game, it's like, oh, you have this quest that leads you here, and you're just like, I mean, it's more on rails, which people like less if you are into sandboxes, but it leads you somewhere.
I think in the beginning, I mean, it's like, it'd be nice if there's some optional like guidance.
Yeah, exactly.
Like them kind of telling you what to do. You don't have to do it, obviously, if you don't want to, but
yeah, you
like,
should be able to turn it off. Like,
yeah.
You should be able to like, they should like tell you like, oh, you should maybe do this quest or like work on this skill.
That'd be good.
Maybe introduce you to crafting or something.
Kind of reminds me of like Sims. Whenever you first start like a new family, they keep giving you tips, and you could be like, ignore for now or never see again.
Yeah.
Or keep them.
Yeah,
if you don't know what to do.
That's how it is in Path of Exile, where it's like it tells you about like systems in the game until you turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they should maybe have that, like maybe take you through like wood cutting and then like tie that into crafting. And then like maybe like combat or something.
Yeah.
And then like a quest. And that'll show you like most of the game. And
yeah, that's true. That'd be really cool.
So I guess until they add something like that, I still think the new player experience isn't very good.
That's fair. All right. Next one is from Ivor. I think this is like one of the funnier questions we've ever been asked. What is your in real life stupid pure build? I'm a Midwest locked herbal or pure, but I do a little cooking and agility on the side.
Yeah.
What is your in real life pure build?
I'm
looking at all the skills and I'm like, oh man, I don't do anything in real life.
Yeah, I don't know. My in real life pure build is like, I don't know, really hard to say.
You do agility because you do running.
Yeah, I would say like
mine's like level 5 farming because I have plants I just haven't watered in a week.
I'm like a higher agility desert locked.
Desert locked because we're in San Diego.
Yeah, like desert locked with like. And I dabble in crafting.
Mine's like I dabble in farming. People were telling me the original old like RuneScape way back in the day had something called fatigue. So I feel like I know it's not a skill, but if it was, I feel like fatigue would be a good skill for me. I'm always tired.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of make me feel bad looking at this list and being like, oh man, I don't do nothing in real life. Where's like the computer one? Where's just the playing games?
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, I'm melee then because I melee in games.
IRL melee?
Yeah, is that how that works? No, I just go and fight people.
IRL.
We'll say I dabble in agility because I like going on walks. I dabble in farming. I'm not good at anything. That's so depressing to say.
Yikes.
But I'm not. And I'm also desert locked. San Diego props.
Yeah, big desert lock.
I love that question. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
Let us know what you are locked to, if at
You're
all.
in real life build.
Yeah, that'd be funny if like someone on a boat's like, I'm ocean locked.
I'm ocean locked. Oh my god. Okay. Thank you all for asking so many questions and for listening to this. Our episodes have been getting so long lately. There's a lot to talk about.
Thanks for sticking around if you have this far, because like she said, it was a very long episode because of all the Gilnor stuff.
I didn't even mention I started my job yesterday. It went fine. Stop by on Twitch if you want to hear more about it.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, you could ask us any questions if you want to on social media. Our Twitter is Bunebapeosrs. Our Instagram and YouTube are both Bunebape, and then twitch.tv/Bunebape. I stream 5 days a week. I take Thursday and Sunday off, and Thursday and Saturday off, and some days I'm going to start streaming a little bit later because of work now, but I'm still going to stream. But yeah, sorry, this is a long episode.
Yeah, besides that, you can also join our Discord if you want to find fellow players or ask us questions over there as well.
Or enter our weekly bond giveaways.
Yeah, enter our giveaways. You'll be notified first whenever we do big events like Michelle's 100 mil giveaway. We put out on there a lot earlier than anywhere else, just so everyone knew when to attend. And same thing, like you said, for giveaways, we might be doing more soon in the future.
Yeah, hopefully we're doing one for a year affiliated, because I think that'd be fun. Yeah,
and on top of that, we might increase how many bonds we're giving away soon, but
once we start getting good at making money.
Yeah, you'll have to join Discord to know. So make sure to join that. And thanks again for listening. Hope everyone enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Hope you have a great week.
And we'll see you all very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Meep.
Beeper.